Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program at the El Paso Community College. And we have a really great show to share with you today. And we're going to kick it off right now by reintroducing our good friend, Bob Warack, who is retired now. And we want to find out what he's been up to. But he's our friend in aging, would you believe? And so we're both aging kind of by the minute, right, Bob?
We certainly are.
And so is everybody else.
It's better than the alternative, yes?
It's better than the end. Tell me a little bit. You were selected as a speaker, invited to speak at the Love Conference.
Right.
And we had lots of people there. And, you know, you chose a very interesting topic, which is very, very good. I don't think we've ever talked about making friends in aging.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your message. But first of all, I want to find out what you've been up to, you know, and what have you been doing and keeping you busy and connected and engaged in retirement.
Well, you know, before I retired, the year before I retired, I knew I didn't want to sit at home. I mean, that I think can be disastrous. You don't want to get up in the morning, turn on the TV, and sit in front of it all day. You want to do stuff that is going to help you thrive as a human being. I mean, just because we're getting older doesn't mean we don't have the ability to contribute. And we have a lot to contribute. We have a lot of history behind us. We have a lot of experience behind us. And we also want to do what makes us happy. Makes me happy. I mean, this sounds a little bit cliche-ish, but it makes me happy to help other people. I mean, I was a lawyer for 47 years. I helped them in that regard. But now I'm helping them, hopefully helping them just in general. I volunteer at OLLI, which is the UTEP Extended University for older people. I volunteer with you. I help you out when you need me.
Yes. You have a TV show.
I have a TV show here. I just started tutoring some, I think they used to call it GED. Now it's the high school equivalency program down in Isleta. So I have a lot to keep me busy and going. And to me, that's important.
It is.
You know, and it's like I have a rule. You know how you don't drink until after 5? I don't put the TV on until after 5. You know? So you're not, you know, you're out.
Yes.
You're moving around.
You know, and I also am very engaged and connected. And
well, you are, and I've always been.
Yeah, and I love it. It feeds my spirit, feeds me to be active and meeting people like you and laughing and doing crazy things like we do. Like,
right.
You know, and so what are your plans? Of course, these are all your plans. Is just to continue giving.
Yeah, and
living.
Excuse me, of course. Luckily, I also like to travel a lot. So, for example, we're in a position that we're able to travel. We just got back from a big trip to Asia. And, I mean, I just loved it because you go to places where you don't see McDonald's and you don't see KFC. And you learn all about different cultures. And,
yes.
And I really, really enjoy that. Some of the things, though, there was a show on PBS on Netflix, I'm sorry, called The Blue Zone. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
So The Blue Zone was a show about these certain areas in the world where people live to 100 plus. And a lot of it is how they eat, but even more of it is the fact that as they age, they don't stop living. They socialize, they have friends, they take care of each other. I mean, look, I've always been like this. I'm not the kind of person that can save the world. I'm just not. But for the people in my universe, I'll go out of my way to make their life as good as it can be.
Yes. And that's a good message. And in your message for the 500 or so seniors at the Love Conference, and of course our viewers, which I hope there's a lot. Right?
They're going to get sick of hearing me if they saw me at the Love Conference.
What advice do you give, you know, in your message?
Well, the same thing we're talking about. I mean, get out of the house.
Socialize.
Take somebody to lunch. socialize. You know, a lot of people sit at home, and this is going to sound a little terrible, but they may be sitting at home alone for a reason. They may not be the easiest people to be with. But you know what? You can spend an hour with them a week, and it's not going to kill you. And believe me, it's going to help them a lot. You also need to get familiar with technology. You don't have to. You have to have. Everybody should have a mobile phone today. If you can afford it, you should have them. And I'm not. You know, you said smartphone, and I'm not even talking about a smartphone. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, I couldn't get in touch with her, and I couldn't get in touch with her. I couldn't get in touch with her. I thought she had a mobile phone, and she didn't. I finally had to call the police, and I asked them to do a welfare check, and it wound up she was in the hospital.
Oh.
But at least I was able to locate her. Had she had a mobile phone with her, I would have been able to contact her, and she would have been able to call for help. So you shouldn't
keep up with technology.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be a computer genius.
Yeah.
Just take advantage of what technology can do for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So what other advice do you have in your little list here?
I think you should contribute to the community. Like I was saying, and this is just me. First of all, you have to take care of yourself.
Yes.
You know,
number one.
Make sure exercise. I know everybody says exercise. So look, I can give you an example. Some guys and I, we used to walk the canals in the Upper Valley, and we would walk 4 miles up, 4 miles back, and then get in the car, and then the next week go to where we stopped. Well, we can't do 4 miles up and 4 miles. So we go 2 miles up and 2 miles back. You can always do some sort of exercise.
Okay.
And make sure you get a checkup.
Yes.
Make sure that you're healthy, or as healthy as can be. Eat well. Stop. I mean, I'm a terrible eater. I have no discipline when it comes to sweets. So, of course, my wife won't bring any in the house.
No. So you have to go out and find it someplace else. Huh?
You're there. So anyway, you take care of yourself, and you can take care of other people. Contribute back to the community.
Yes.
Give back. The community, this community has been incredibly good to me.
Yes.
And I'm sure incredibly good to our viewers. Give something back. Volunteer. Like, you and I had actually talked about this, and I would still like to do this, is get an entire list of all the nonprofits in town.
Okay.
And put it on this program. Talk to people about it. Publicize it. So if you're interested in reading to kids at a library, you do that.
And there's a digital library that the county has started.
Right.
And it's wonderful. And we're going to have them as guests, by the way, on the show. So how funny you brought it up.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things you can. I mean, you know, COVID threw a wrench into a lot. It really did. But I think we're kind of over that. COVID is pretty much, I hope the doctors out there don't hate me, but I kind of look at it like the flu. You get sick, you take care of yourself, you don't go out, you don't contaminate or get other people sick. But once you're done with that, then you can start again. There's just a lot. So I volunteer at the food pantry, the Kelly Food Pantry. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And
you meet new people?
Meet wonderful people. And people aren't going to food pantries because they want to. They're going there because they have to.
But that's good. Any other items on your?
I have a whole agenda. I have a whole agenda here. You know,
your cheat sheet.
It's as we get older, it's harder to force yourself to go out of the house. And as we get old, you know what else is harder? It's harder to make friends. When we're young, we're always out. I don't know. I'm sure you went to the bars.
I went to the happy hours.
As did I. And it was much easier to make friends when you're young.
And I don't go there anymore to the happy.
As you're right. But as you're older, it gets harder and harder. But you know what is nice about it? As you get older, you don't think so much about, oh, I wonder what they thought about me. Oh, I wonder what they thought about what I was wearing. Who cares? You know?
You're right. I shall wear purple.
Of course. Well, you
What
always
they say.
you always look good. You know
There's
that.
a poem. When I get old, I shall wear purple.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I should have worn my purple sweater.
Yeah. You have your purple jacket.
That would have helped.
But it's interesting that you say, because now what I'm doing is I'm joining like the Vietnam Veterans organizations,
Right.
like the Associates of the Vietnam Veterans, and they have their fundraisers, their spaghetti dinners or their fish fries, and then we sell tickets and we help to raise funds so that we can do programs for Vietnam veterans.
Right.
So you see, we're still active.
And that's the important part. You have to remain active. And I enjoy meeting a whole different type of people is not really the word I want, but again, you're in a profession.
People with different interests.
Exactly. I like the way you put that, because like at the Kelly at the food bank, I was talking to this woman, and she's a native El Pasoan, and she had said, I never thought I really would come back. She lived in Togo, which is a small country. I think it was a French territory for a while. So she speaks fluent Spanish, fluent French. She lived there teaching. She was fascinating. People happen to be very interesting. And if you're a curious person, it's just wonderful to learn about them.
And sometimes there's seniors living in assisted living or in nursing homes that have no guests, nobody to visit them.
Right.
That's a good volunteer.
Of course it is.
Doesn't take a lot of energy or anything like that, just caring.
You know what? And it may take some energy, but so what? You have enough energy to go out once or twice a week and spend an hour or two with people that may need it. I mean, I am just a real believer in that.
And we have about a minute or so left. Your message is very clear, very precise. And now we've got to do that self-examination. What am I doing?
Well,
how am I spending my time?
At the Love Conference, I was pointing at people and saying, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And if they weren't doing anything, well, then get up and go do it. Right. Even if you have to leave here right now.
And you're here for a reason.
Yes.
You're doing something.
Yeah.
Go to the tables and the exhibitors and find out, do they need volunteers, for the different nonprofit organizations.
And they did. I mean, it was wonderfully attended. And you do it every year.
Yeah.
You're indefatigable.
Yeah, and since 1995, we've been doing the Love Conference. Yeah. 27 years, by the way, Bob. 27 years, 27 Love Conferences.
And look at you. You were on the board of APS, the Star, whatever that. I can't remember the Star.
Silver Star Board.
Silver Star Board, right. For Adult Protective Service. I mean, you've involved yourself in so much of the community. And
wonderful network.
Look at you. You're still going.
Man. How long is this going to last?
You know what? That's always the question. So you want to do as much good as you can.
As long as we
Because
last.
you never know when it's going to last.
When it's going to be the end. Okay, thank you so much for being here.
I always love it.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, because we always talk off the cup, and you make me smile. You're goofy. You're fun. So thank you, Bob, and I hope your show is a great success. We look forward to seeing that.
I do too.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
And what is the name of the show?
We don't know yet.
Oh, that's the name of the show.
We haven't picked the name yet.
That's the name. We don't know yet. Thank you so much. And we're going to continue with more guests here on Mature Living. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
And we'll be back.
The lady on the phone was saying that she was my granddaughter. She needs help, and she hasn't got the money, and they're going to take her to jail.
We went to the bank, got the money, and then the girl came over, picked it up, and then she took off.
Anyone is vulnerable to this. They're very good.
Well, thank you for staying with us here on Mature Living. We want to continue our show and introducing to you one of my backup hosts that I will use this year. And she's very active in the community, but and also she has got an important job. Rosalva Hernandez is the El Paso County Program Manager under the Community Services Program. So you can imagine what it's like to do a nutrition program with thousands of meals served for our elders and many other programs that she's in charge of. Thank you for being with us, Rosalva.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for having us again.
You're always ready to come.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
important.
Yes, ma'am. It's important for our community to know about our programs. So thank you.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your program, especially your senior meal program, and what you're celebrating in February.
Yes, Mary, we are turning 50.
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
El Paso
Hey,
Community College. Yes.
2019, we turned 50. Salud.
2024, 50 years old for the County Senior Meal Program. February of 1974 is when the County of El Paso partners with our community-wide agencies and serves meals in the first two congregate centers here in El Paso, one of them being Sacred Heart Church and the other one being St. Albans Church also.
They were
yes, first two sites where we serve congregate meals to about, I want to say about 20 to 50 people. It was just beginning, and today, Mary, like you said, we serve, of course, many more people. Through our congregate centers, we serve to about 1,200 people monthly, and then let's not forget, we also have the home delivered meal program where we also serve to almost 3,000 people throughout the city.
Amazing to manage that, and the preparing of the meals, the delivery of the meals, you know, and they're warm when they get to the congregate centers.
Yes, they're warm, and let's just be clear. I'm not the cook. I'm not the I'm not the cook. I'm not the delivery. But the county does contract a meal vendor to help us meet the goals of this program. The program is funded by our partners, AAA, Area Agency on Aging, who fund part of the program, as well as Health and Human Services, who also fund primarily the home delivered meal program.
Wow.
But we are turning 50, and it's a big deal for us.
Yes.
Because it's a true testament of how the County of El Paso is always partnering with community-wide agencies, Mary. You know it, we know it. If you don't partner and you don't collaborate, you don't bring something special to the community.
We leverage our resources.
Yes.
And our services get delivered to our elders, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And they enjoy their meals. On any given day, go to a center, you see them enjoying themselves, playing bingo, loteria, doing exercises, and then what? The cherry on top, eating their meal at noontime.
How
and it's a
wonderful.
free noontime meal.
And there are about, what, 16?
We have right now 16 centers. What started as 2 centers has now grown to 16 centers. Pre-COVID, we had a few more. Post-COVID, some of the centers closed, but we're gradually getting back to what we used to have.
I'm also gradually getting back to the numbers of students that are enrolled in our program. So yes, but we're moving forward. And are the meals, do they cost anything?
The meals are free, Mary. The meals are free to all registered participants. If they want to go to a center of their choice, the one closest to their home, they can register. 60-year-old and older will get you the free noontime meal.
Super. And do they register at the center? Do they have a registration process where how do you get your counts? How many people, how many meals to bring to each of the centers? I can imagine that maneuvering of all that.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Good question. So they register at the center where they choose to go register at. Give us 5 days to process your application. Once those 5 days have expired, we let you know, yes, you are eligible, and you begin eating for free the following week. And so we always tell our seniors who participate at the congregate sites, please try and be here 3 to 4 times a week. Why? Because it helps us keep our meal counts consistent.
Yes.
We don't want to order too many and then not too many show up, right? So we always ask our seniors, please show up 3 to 4 times a week. That helps us with our meal ordering per week.
Super. There's got to be some organization to keep everybody with not
Yes.
missing a meal, not missing a beat.
Not missing a beat on a monthly basis, Mary. At the congregate sites, we're serving about 12,000 meals at the congregate sites throughout the 16 centers on a monthly basis.
12,000.
On top of that, another 39,000 meals that we serve for home delivered. So
How does that
It's-
work?
the home delivered meal program is funded by Health and Human Services. They are the ones who determine eligibility. So when you call our office to find out how you can get a home delivered on the home delivered meal system, we will give you their phone number to call so that they may begin the telephone application.
Okay.
Once HHS, Health and Human Services, determines eligibility, they notify us to start delivery to this person. And so we do a home visit and we let them know, Mary, your meal service will begin on so-and-so date. And then we let them know other program details.
And how many meals do they get for the week?
It just depends. Health and Human Services will determine. Some individuals are getting up to 7 meals per week, the Monday through Sunday meal. They are approving up to 7 meals per week.
Very good. Interesting. I know there's other services that you provide, not just the home meals, or the nutrition program, the senior meal program. So what other services do
You know what, Mary? What I'd like to know, what I'd like for everyone to know is that it's available to our senior population like it's available to families. We also have the General Assistance Program where we help families, low-income households who meet the income eligibility. We help them with their rent. If they are in arrears with their rent, we help them catch up so that at the end of the day, they avoid eviction. We help them with their utilities so that they may have electric, gas, and water, right? So we are there as a community services department with the County of El Paso. We are there to serve them not only through the senior meal program, but we also have assistance for families and seniors as well. Families with children and seniors also without children.
That's super. And so they can get a hold of you, right, through your office. You have staff that helps you?
Yes, we have an office staff and we have the field staff. Altogether, we're a team of 10 for the senior meal program, and our general assistance program is a team of 4. But either one, if you are interested in finding out more about the senior meal program, give us a call, 915-546-8167. Again, I'll repeat it, area code 915-546-8167 is where you can call, find out more about the meal program, and wish us a happy birthday.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you, what are you going to do for the 50th?
For the 50th, we are we're going to be delivering some commemorative little cookies to every center where we gather and sing happy birthday all together. Every center can celebrate. We'll visit every center and maybe have some small activities there to share with all.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad we were here to announce this because
Yes.
I didn't know how important and how long
Yes.
this program has been provided to this community since 1974. 50 years. It's amazing. I know the
50
college, was 50 years old in 2019, so we're just a little bit ahead of you.
A little bit ahead of us, but you know what? It's a big deal. 50 years to celebrate. You only turn 50 once.
That's right.
It's a big deal. It's gold. And let's continue so that we may be here another 50 years.
And I'm glad it's in February with a beautiful love
That's right.
conference with the beautiful Alzheimer's Association caregiving journey conference. There's so many activities that are going on. I know there's the digital library that I want to have a
Yes.
guest on our show probably next week. And tell me a little bit about that.
Mary, I'm glad you invited them. This is another service, very new to our profile of services under the Community Services Department. I think we're going on almost 2 years. It is new, it is digital. Everybody in our county of El Paso can read books, see videos, play games. This is digital. She will tell you on how to get your library card. She will let you know of all the services available, not just to those living out in the county, but it's our entire county of El
And
Paso.
who's in charge of that digital library?
That
Is she a
Priscilla
librarian?
She is a librarian. Of course, she's a librarian. And her name is Priscilla Moreno. I know you all will enjoy having her, and She'll give you all the details about that program.
That's great. Anything else that I've missed? I still have quite a few, 5 more minutes, so let's make good use of it.
Yes, well, let's make good use by letting everyone know. If you want to register for a noontime meal at one of the centers, one of 16 centers, go to the center of your choice.
Yes.
They are located, the centers are also on our website. You can go into www.epcounty.com and go in there to the community services tab, go into the nutrition program, and you'll see the listing of all the centers.
Yes.
So that you can go to whichever one you choose to. You can only be registered at one center at one time.
Now, when you discover a need, let's say a person lives alone, they're homebound, you find that there's a lot of seniors in our community that maybe would not have a meal, if it weren't for your program?
Mary, that is a very good question. Oftentimes, we all know it. We all have neighbors, we all have family members who know of someone who maybe is at home, isolated, has nobody. And instead of them being, go to a nursing home, be taken to a nursing home, why not bring these resources to them? Why not help them sign up for a meal? Sometimes that's all it is that they need, that one meal to keep them in their home that they know, so that they may stay there and live in their home that they live for many years, Mary. That one meal will bring them that stability. That one meal, sometimes it's sad, but we still hear sometimes that one meal seniors receive, whether it's at the center or home, that may be the only meal they receive.
Sometimes seniors, neighbors of elders, take it upon themselves to, when they cook, they make that extra meal and deliver it to that elder next door or in the neighborhood that they know. And then through the church, they find seniors that are isolated, and the churches kind of also take that upon them. But we need to include the county nutrition program. And so the more that we serve, the more funding we get.
The more that we serve may not grant us as much more funding, but it keeps our funders busy trying to find more funding for us.
Oh,
costs for gas, food product, and everything have skyrocketed. We know that, right? That impacts also our meal program. But our funders don't give up on looking for funding for us. They don't want this to stop. And if we can get more people enrolled, that's better for all of us. And so we thank you for having us here always, because this is part of the partnering and collaboration that we all need.
We want you back every time so we can remind people what services we have here in El Paso for our seniors and many of them in need. I also want you to give us the phone number of your office.
Yes, again, 915-546-8167. And that's for the senior meal program.
We really appreciate you and your staff. You're everywhere also. You help with grants, and you help with boards, and you're connected, and you stay connected, and we appreciate that contribution that you're making, Rosalva, for our community. Thank God I see you everywhere.
We see each other everywhere, familiar faces, right?
Yes.
But yes, part of our community, it's part of being part of it, right?
Yes. And thank everybody in the team over at the county.
I will.
In
Thank
all
you
the
so
different
much.
departments.
I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here and sharing this important information for our community. And I guess we'll see you all next week with another great show here on Mature Living. Be sure and join us. Thank you.